It was a sunny and tranquil day at Willow Creek Park. Laughter filled the air as children played on the colorful jungle gym, adults strolled with their dogs, and couples enjoyed the gentle breeze of the late afternoon. The golden sunlight cast a warm glow over the trees, while birds chirped sweet melodies. The sound of joyous laughter intertwined with the rustling leaves, creating a picturesque scene of harmony and happiness. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Nothing. Until a prejudiced gaze decided to turn a moment of joy into a nightmare. In the heart of the park, a man was pushing his daughter on a swing. The scene exuded pure tenderness. The little girl, named Emily, giggled with delight at each push her father, Leonard Carter, gave her. Her laughter echoed like music to anyone nearby. Sunlight danced off her blonde hair, and her green eyes sparkled, reflecting the endless blue of the sky as she reveled in pure joy. "Higher, Daddy! Higher!" Emily shouted, her face lighting up with excitement as the wind rushed past her. Leonard grinned widely, his heart swelling with love and pride. Each peal of laughter from his daughter filled him with an indescribable joy. For him, this moment wasn't just about leisure, it was a vivid reminder that love transcends all barriers, whether of blood or color. As a dedicated father, he cherished every laugh, remembering the challenges he faced when raising Emily alone after the unexpected death of his wife. Those moments of happiness fueled his resolve to ensure his daughter felt loved and protected. But not everyone saw things that way. Several dozens of feet away, a woman frowned as she observed the scene. Her name was Margaret Stevenson. Of average height, her blonde hair was pulled back into a tight bun, and she wore a beige coat that felt out of place on such a bright day. Clutching her cell phone tightly, her expression displayed discomfort and suspicion. Margaret was an ordinary woman engaging in her usual activities. However, her mind was fraught with latent prejudices. She wrestled internally, convinced there was something wrong with the scene before her. How could a white child be with a black man? Who was he? Was the girl safe? Was she fearful and trying to disguise it? As her heart raced with uncertainty, an overwhelming instinct to protect the innocent child rose within her. "I have to do something," she thought. "I have to save that girl." Visualizing her own perceptions of safety being threatened by the sight before her, she felt compelled to act. Margaret dialed the police. "There's a black man kidnapping a white child. I'm seeing it right now, here in the park. Send a unit quickly." Her voice trembled, infused with panic despite her firm tone. The operator on the line attempted to soothe her, requesting more details about the situation and what exactly was happening, but Margaret insisted, her adrenaline surging with every passing second. "They're going to escape. I know they will. Send someone now," she pleaded, her mind racing with the possibility of imminent danger. Two police officers, Officers Bradley and Mitchell, were dispatched. Without questioning the credibility of the report, they activated their sirens and sped toward the park, motivated by the urgency of a potential child kidnapping. They remained unaware of the context surrounding the call, comprehensively unaware that their own safety could soon be compromised. Meanwhile, Leonard continued to play with Emily, blissfully unaware of the chaos about to unfold around him. He gently pushed her higher, savoring the moment, watching the sky with contentment. Everything seemed perfect. The screech of the squad car's brakes pierced the serene atmosphere as it halted abruptly, instantly shattering the park's tranquility. The loud wail of the siren drew everyone's attention, heads turning in confusion and concern. The car doors swung open with a jarring force, and in mere seconds, two officers emerged, their guns drawn, expressions grim. "Drop the child and raise your hands." One of the officers barked, his voice ringing out authoritatively, laced with urgency. Silence enveloped the park. Parents clutched their children tightly, some people began to record the scene on their phones, and tension thickened the air as if time itself had frozen in horror. Leonard's eyes widened in disbelief. Panic raced through his veins as he glanced at Emily, who now looked at him in confusion and fright. What's happening?" he managed to ask, raising his hand slowly in a bid to demonstrate he meant no harm. But the second officer advanced, his determination unshaken. "Take steps back. Now." As the reality of the moment sunk in, Emily began to cry, a sound that tugged at Leonard's heart. "No. No. That's my daddy," she screamed, her tiny hands reaching out for Leonard, trying desperately to bridge the widening gap. Yet the officers either didn't hear her or were unwilling to acknowledge her words amidst their mission. Just then, Rachel, Leonard's wife, came rushing back from the nearby ice cream stand, holding Emily's favorite treat. She had stepped out briefly to indulge in a little sweetness, intending to surprise her daughter. Horrified, Rachel took in the chaotic scene that met her eyes. "What the hell is going on here?" Rachel shouted, her voice a mix of disbelief and fury. Margaret, who had instigated the ordeal, stood up hastily, her heart racing. "Ma'am, please remain calm. We called the police. This man was with your daughter." She stuttered, trying to justify her actions despite the mounting pressure of the situation. Rachel shot a furious glare at Margaret, then turned to the officers, her energy intensifying. "Are you out of your minds? He's her father." Her voice boomed with indignation and the palpable rage of a mother defending her family. An audible silence fell. The officers glanced at each other, the gravity of their action striking home. Emily continued to sob, and murmurs began to ripple through the surrounding crowd. "Is she telling the truth?" one officer asked Leonard, confusion etched across his face. Rachel seized the moment, her anger boiling over. "Of course he's her father. Why on earth did you approach him? Because he's black and my daughter is white?" The officer, Mitchell, found himself at a loss for words, his throat tightening. "We received a report of a kidnapping." Rachel turned sharply to face Margaret, her expression one of fury mixed with incredulity. "You called the police because you saw a black man with a white child?" Margaret faltered, feeling the weight of the world pressing down on her. She could feel every set of eyes on her. It was suffocating. I just thought it was strange," she stammered, her confidence diminishing like smoke in the wind. "Strange or racist?" Rachel challenged, and murmurs erupted in the crowd, expressions of disbelief and anger abounding. Tears streamed down Emily's cheeks as she clung to Leonard, seeking solace in his unwavering love. "Daddy, let's go home," she whispered, her innocent plea cutting through the chaotic atmosphere. The officers, now realizing they had made a catastrophic error, stood frozen, grappling with the ramifications of their actions. But it was too late, the narrative had already begun to unfold. In the days that followed, the story went viral. The hashtag he is her father dominated social media platforms, igniting discussions and debates about race, prejudice, and justice. Newspapers and influencers weighed in on the incident, each adding layers to the evolving narrative. Margaret was identified, her name trending as the face of misplaced suspicion and racial profiling. She tried to defend herself, but the damage had been done, and the outrage was palpable. Conversely, Leonard received an outpouring of support from friends, family, and even strangers who empathized with his ordeal. He and Rachel were invited to share their side of the story in interviews, with Emily, blissfully unaware of the gravity of the situation, beaming at cameras, a radiant image of innocence amidst chaos. When Leonard was asked what message he would like to share regarding the incident, he took a deep breath, grounding himself in the weight of his reality. "I just want to raise my daughter in peace. A father's love knows no color." His words resonated far and wide, echoing in the hearts of many as a testament to the power of love and unity. Thus, the incident that began with a racially charged accusation transitioned into a profound lesson for the world. It highlighted the crucial need for open dialogue about racism and prejudice, serving as a reminder that the fight against discrimination must start within each individual. But the tale didn't end there. In the weeks that followed, Margaret found herself grappling with the consequences of her actions. Initially, she struggled to comprehend people's anger toward her. All she wanted was to protect a child, right? However, the rising tide of public sentiment forced her to confront her own prejudices. In an effort to understand the depth of her actions, Margaret accepted an invitation to join a community program designed to promote inclusivity and dialogue. Here, she listened intently to families from various backgrounds, immersing herself in their stories and experiences. Simultaneously, Leonard and Rachel took this opportunity to build a legacy out of their ordeal. They recognized that despite the trauma, the power of love and understanding could be wielded as a force for good. They set out to organize community events aiming to educate others on acceptance and empathy, promoting conversations that broke down societal barriers. In the following months, the impact of the incident echoed throughout the community. Leonard and Emily inspired many families to share their experiences, both joyful and painful, in hopes of fostering an environment of understanding and acceptance. The lessons learned from that fateful day were not limited to one family. They spread like wildfire, igniting discussions that needed to happen. Leonard, now a respected public figure, began sharing his story at seminars and conferences, encouraging parents to stand against racism while speaking openly about their own struggles. He realized that his experience could be a beacon of hope, a source of strength for others facing similar challenges. Inspired by these encounters, he began documenting his journey in a heartfelt book, capturing the trials, tribulations, and dreams he held for Emily's future. Eventually, the sunny park of Willow Creek, the venue where such chaos initially erupted, became a symbol of unity, understanding, and healing. What had once been a site of division transformed into a gathering place for community events focused on inclusivity. The power of love triumphed over prejudice, inviting families of all backgrounds to celebrate their differences and foster connection. As for Margaret, after months of soul-searching and education, she realized it was time to change. Eager to bridge the gap created by her ignorance, she committed herself to unlearning and educating others. She participated in discussions, workshops, and local forums aimed at dismantling systemic racism. Through her journey of transformation, she discovered friendship and respect among those she once judged. All characters, in one way or another, grew from the experience. What began as a racially charged incident became a journey of healing and understanding, one that transcended the initial misunderstanding and resulted in collective growth. And so, the story that started with an act of racism culminated in a powerful revelation for the entire world. True change begins at home, born from love, empathy, and the courage to reevaluate one's beliefs and actions. By the next summer, community gatherings in Willow Creek Park had become regular occurrences, filled with laughter, learning, and a newfound sense of belonging. Families of every hue came together, reminding everyone that while they might be different, their hopes for love and acceptance joined them in a shared journey toward a better future. And in the end, the legacy of that fateful day served as a reminder that the human capacity for understanding and compassion could ignite change, paving the way for a world where every child, regardless of the color of their skin, could laugh freely on the swings of life.